Hi, I'm Julio.
And I'm the AI that will make this story even more unpredictable.
Here's how it works. I write the first 4 chapters full of mystery, clues, and twists.
And then I step in to write the final chapter.
But here's the challenge. Can you guess the ending the AI will create before it's revealed?
I doubt you can. My endings always have a hidden surprise.
So, join us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the idea and share in the comments how you think this story should end. Will your theory beat the AI's twist? The champagne glass nearly slips from my fingers when the notification vibrates against my wrist. I recover quickly, maintaining the practiced smile that's become as much a part of my diplomatic arsenal as my security clearance. Senator Harrison, you were saying about the bilateral committee? I tilt my head slightly, feigning interest while my peripheral vision scans the smartwatch display. The encrypted message icon shouldn't be there. Not now. Not with that sender ID. The senator, balding, bourbon-flushed, more powerful than his slouching posture suggests, drones on about cybersecurity frameworks. I nod at appropriate intervals while my thumb discreetly unlocks the watch. The file you destroyed didn't disappear. 5 years. 5 years since Prague. Since I personally verified Alexander Korda's death. Since I watched the warehouse containing those files burn to cinder and ash. I swipe to the attachment. It's a photograph of me, taken tonight, standing exactly where I am now, from an angle that would place the photographer somewhere near the ceiling. Impossible. Ms. Moreau, you seem distracted. Harrison's eyes narrow slightly, the calculation behind them momentarily visible. Forgive me, Senator. Embassy protocols, you understand. I gesture vaguely toward my watch, something that requires my attention, though nothing that should concern our American friends. The lie flows effortlessly. 15 years in diplomatic service teaches you the truth is merely a liability with good publicity. I excuse myself with practiced grace, moving through the salon where crystal chandeliers cast honeyed light across faces that reveal nothing while hiding everything. The French embassy's private reception room feels suddenly claustrophobic, the portraits of former ambassadors watching with painted eyes that seem to follow my movement. Someone here is watching me. Someone who shouldn't exist. I scan the room as I navigate between clusters of attachés, dignitaries, and the intelligence officers pretending to be neither. A server offers champagne. I take a glass without breaking stride, using the moment to check reflections in the mirrored wall behind him. There, by the eastern exit, a profile that triggers recognition deep in my cerebral cortex, the sharp jawline, the distinctive scar at the temple that makeup can't quite conceal. I've seen that face in a morgue photograph, attached to a body with 3 bullets through the chest. Korda, but that's impossible. He turns, eyes locking with mine across the room. A slight smile forms on his lips. The same cold expression I remember from security footage in Prague. He raises his glass in a mock toast before disappearing through a side door. My heart hammers against my ribs, but my face betrays nothing. Years of training hold. I move toward the exit, carefully navigating the diplomatic labyrinth without appearing rushed. My phone buzzes in my clutch. Another message, same sender. Did you think it would be so easy to bury the past, Livia? Look behind painting number 7. Clock starts now. You have 19 minutes before it goes public. I glance up at the portrait directly ahead, an 18th century ambassador with cold eyes, brass plate beneath it. 7. Something is hidden behind it, something that will destroy everything I've built. And the dead man who put it there is somewhere in this building. 19 minutes, 18 now. I weave through clusters of diplomats, navigating the room's social currents like a shark through shoals. My Louboutins click softly against marble as I approach painting number 7. Ambassador Durand, 1789 to 1793, executed during the Terror. How fitting. A server passes too close. I pivot, transforming my approach into a casual admiration of historical portraiture. Fascinating collection, isn't it? The voice behind me is American, female, unfamiliar. I turn to face a woman in a midnight blue gown, early 40s, auburn hair swept into a precise updo. Her smile doesn't reach her calculating eyes. Sarah Winters, State Department. She extends a manicured hand. We haven't formally met, Miss Moreau, though your reputation precedes you. 17 minutes. All good things, I hope. My handshake is firm, my smile diplomatic. My mind races. Sarah Winters isn't on tonight's guest list. I've memorized every name. Mostly professional. Her gaze flicks toward painting 7, though I understand you have specialized skills when handling sensitive situations. My pulse quickens. This isn't coincidence. Diplomacy requires versatility. I sip champagne, buying seconds to think. What brings State Department to a predominantly European affair? The same thing that has you interested in pre-revolutionary portraiture. She steps closer, voice dropping. Alexander Korda. The name hits like ice water. I maintain composure, but she catches the micro-expression. She's trained to notice. You seem surprised. Her smile widens fractionally. Did you think the Prague operation was exclusively European intelligence? We had assets involved too. 16 minutes. I'm afraid I don't follow. The lie tastes bitter. If she knows about Prague, she knows what I did there, what I destroyed, or what I thought I destroyed. Of course. She nods with mock understanding. Just as you weren't about to check behind that painting. Don't bother. It's been removed. The floor seems to tilt beneath me. Excuse me? The thumb drive. We retrieved it 20 minutes ago. She swirls her champagne. Fascinating contents. The Vinogradov files were supposed to be destroyed years ago. 15 minutes. The Vinogradov files. I've never heard that name before. I believe you have me confused with someone else. I hold her gaze steady, even as questions ricochet through my mind. Let's not waste time. She glances at my watch. Your deadline's approaching, and we both know what happens if those files go public. I say nothing, calculating rapidly. She's bluffing about removing something from behind the painting. I need to check it myself. But if she knows about the countdown, she's connected to Korda somehow. Walk with me. It's not a request. I follow her toward a secluded alcove near the embassy's west wing. 2 men in tailored suits materialize, creating a privacy barrier between us and the reception. 5 years ago, you led an operation to destroy evidence of Project Blacklight. Her voice is clinical now. You believed all copies of the algorithm were eliminated when the warehouse burned. 14 minutes. You have the wrong person. No, Livia, I don't. She pulls out a phone, shows me a photo. Me, standing over Korda's body in Prague. My face is partially obscured, but the stance is unmistakably mine. You executed him, burned the files, reported mission success. Who are you really? My voice drops to steel. Someone who knows the algorithm didn't die in that fire. She holds my gaze. Korda uploaded it before you arrived. Multiple copies exist. One was behind that painting. This contradicts everything. Prague was containment. Destroy the malicious code before it could be weaponized. Mission verified successful. Yet if she's right, assuming I believe you, I say carefully, why tell me this? 13 minutes. Because in 12 minutes, one copy automatically uploads to major media outlets. The thumb drive was a decoy. The real countdown is happening on servers we can't access. And what do these files actually contain? I probe, testing her knowledge. She hesitates. A tell. Project Blacklight details. She's lying. She doesn't know what's in them. If you retrieve the drive, you've seen the contents. The drive was encrypted, another lie. But we know it's catastrophic. 12 minutes. A vibration against my wrist, another message. Wrong painting, try again. 11:52 remaining. My face betrays nothing, but internally, puzzle pieces rearrange. Sarah isn't working with Corda. She's being played too. The real drive is still hidden. Why come to me now? I ask, stalling. Because only you can access Corda's failsafe. He built it with your biometric signature. That makes no sense. I killed Corda before he could implement biometric security. My phone buzzes again. A photo appears, of Sarah, taken moments ago from across the room, with text overlay. She works for Crimson Shell. They want the algorithm too. 10 minutes. Crimson Shell, a private intelligence contractor I've crossed paths with in Kiev. Ruthless, amoral, with government contracts that let them operate in shadows even diplomats avoid. I need to get back to that painting. If you'll excuse me, I need to speak with the ambassador. I step away smoothly. Her hand grips my wrist, gentle but immovable. You're not going anywhere until those files are secured. 9 minutes. I don't respond well to threats, Miss Winters. I match her steel. It's not a threat, it's survival. For the first time, fear cracks her professional veneer. If those files release, people beyond your pay grade become exposed. People who will ensure neither of us sees tomorrow. A commotion erupts across the reception hall. Heads turn. Security personnel move with sudden purpose. He's here, Sarah whispers, face draining of color. Through the shifting crowd, I glimpse him. Corda, openly visible now, moving toward the embassy's secure wing, where classified communications are housed. 8 minutes. Impossible, I breathe. I killed him myself. Then who's that? Sarah demands. An excellent question. The voice behind us belongs to Senator Harrison, now standing too close, eyes sharp with interest. Especially since the man you're both watching is CIA Deputy Director Alan Weiss. I freeze, reassessing the figure across the room. The resemblance to Corda is striking, but not identical. How did I miss it? If you'll both come with me, Harrison continues pleasantly, revealing a diplomatic security badge hidden beneath his lapel, I think we need to discuss why 2 intelligence operatives are tracking a senior CIA official at a diplomatic function. 7 minutes. Sarah's hand slips inside her clutch. I wouldn't, Harrison warns. This building has signal jammers. Whatever countdown you're monitoring stopped the moment you entered. My blood turns to ice as my watch display flickers and dies. The countdown hasn't stopped. It's been accelerated. Signal jammers, I repeat, mind racing behind a mask of diplomatic composure. Fascinating technology. Yet my watch displays the current time perfectly. Harrison's confidence falters momentarily. I capitalize on the hesitation, turning towards Sarah. Crimson Shell has impressive reach these days. Tell me, does the State Department know you're moonlighting? Sarah's eyes widen. Confirmation enough. Harrison shifts his attention to her, creating the microsecond I need. My elbow connects with the pressure point beneath his ribs, not enough to draw attention, just enough to buy 3 seconds of startled immobility. I move with practiced efficiency, fingers sliding beneath his lapel to extract his security badge while appearing to merely steady myself against him. Old muscle memory from my years in field training before the diplomatic cover. Excuse the interruption, I say smoothly, nodding to a passing waiter who's noticed nothing amiss. Perhaps we should continue this conversation somewhere more private. I guide them toward a service corridor, badge now concealed in my palm. Harrison recovers quickly, his face recalibrating from shock to calculated assessment. "You're making a serious mistake, Moreau," he murmurs, voice pitched for our ears only. "We all made a mistake in Prague," I counter, watching recognition flash across his features. "You were station chief for the operation, weren't you? Not directly involved, but signing off on the intelligence. 5 minutes remaining, maybe less." The service corridor empties into a staff area. A security guard glances up from his monitor, hand instinctively moving toward his weapon. "Embassy security," I announce, flashing Harrison's badge before he can protest. "Routine sweep." The guard nods, returning to his screens. Years of conditioning. When someone with authority acts with confidence, few question it. "This way," I direct, navigating through the embassy's arteries toward the eastern wing. Toward painting number 7. "The files aren't behind any painting," Sarah hisses. "I told you." "You told me what Crimson Shell wanted me to believe," I cut her off. "Just as the senator here has his own agenda. The question is, whose interests align with preventing a global catastrophe?" Harrison's expression hardens. "You don't understand what's at stake." "Then enlighten me. Quickly. 4 minutes." "Project Blacklight was never about the algorithm," he says, voice low. "It was about what it discovered." We reach the Eastern Gallery, empty now. The reception's attendees concentrated in the main hall. Painting 7 looms before us, Ambassador Duran's eyes seeming to follow our approach. "The algorithm was designed to identify deep cover operatives by correlating financial anomalies across global banking systems," Harrison continues. "But it found something else, something no one was supposed to see." "The Vinogradov files," I murmur, moving toward the painting. "No," Sarah interjects, "the Vinogradov identity. The algorithm identified a single person operating under multiple high-level diplomatic covers across 3 continents. Someone who shouldn't exist." My fingers trace the painting's ornate frame, searching for a mechanism. And who would that be? 3 minutes. "We don't know," Harrison admits. "The algorithm was destroyed before it completed its analysis." The only copy of the partial results was with Corda. "Who I killed," I remind them. "Who you thought you killed," Sarah corrects. "The body was verified. DNA, dental records, everything matched. But 9 months later, surveillance caught him in Macau. And you didn't think to inform me?" I find a subtle irregularity in the frame, a pressure point. "Need-to-know basis," Harrison says grimly. "After Prague, your involvement was terminated." The frame clicks, revealing not a hidden compartment, but a QR code etched into the wood backing. 2 minutes. I scan it with my phone. The screen displays a simple message. "Voice verification required. Speak the last words he said to you." My blood runs cold. "This is impossible," I breathe. "No one knows what Corda said before he died. We were alone." "What did he say?" Sarah presses. The memory surfaces. Corda on the warehouse floor, blood pooling beneath him, eyes locked on mine as he whispered his final taunt. I lean toward the frame, voice barely audible. "You're already too late, Moreau." It was never about the algorithm. The frame mechanism whirs softly. A small compartment opens. Inside, not a thumb drive, but a single earpiece. 1 minute. I insert it without hesitation. A voice speaks directly into my ear. Corda's voice, automated but unmistakable. "Hello, Livia. If you're hearing this, you followed my breadcrumb trail. The countdown isn't leading to public disclosure. It's activating dormant protocols in the algorithm fragments still operating in the financial system. In 30 seconds, it will flag every account connected to Crimson Shell, the CIA black budget, and your own operations." Sarah's phone buzzes. She glances at it, face draining of color. My accounts are being drained, all of them. Harrison's phone chimes next. His expression mirrors Sarah's horror. The earpiece continues. The only way to stop it is to access the embassy's secure communications room and transmit the kill code I've just sent to your phone. My phone vibrates, displaying a 16-digit alphanumeric sequence. You'll need this, the voice adds, as the compartment yields a keycard. Oh, and Livia, I'm still very much alive. The man you killed in Prague was my twin brother. He volunteered for the cause. 20 seconds. We need to get to the secure communications room, I announce, already moving. That's in the restricted western wing, Harrison objects, even with my credentials. We're not using yours. I produce the keycard. Corda planned for this. 15 seconds. We navigate through service corridors, descending to the embassy's lower level. The secure communications hub lies behind a magnetically sealed door. Highest level diplomatic clearance required. That card won't work, Sarah insists. These systems require dual authentication. I slide the card through the reader. The light remains red. 10 seconds. Biometric required, the security panel announces. Corda said it would recognize me, I murmur, pressing my palm against the scanner. Nothing happens. 5 seconds. It's not working, Harrison hisses. 3, 2. The scanner suddenly glows green, but not from my palm. A different scanner has activated, aimed at my eyes. Retinal pattern confirmed, the system announces. Welcome, Director Vinogradov. The door slides open. My world stops. What did it just call you? Sarah whispers, horror dawning across her face. The answer hits me with crushing clarity. The deep cover operative identified by the algorithm. The person with multiple diplomatic identities. It wasn't Corda. It was me. Director Vinogradov. The name rings in my ears like an unfamiliar echo. My own name. A name I've never heard. The secure communications room hums with technology. Servers lining the walls. Monitors displaying encrypted diplomatic channels. A central console waiting for the kill code. I move toward it automatically, muscle memory guiding actions my conscious mind can't process. This is impossible, Sarah breathes behind me. You're Vinogradov? I can't be. My fingers hover over the console keyboard. I've been Livia Moreau for 15 years. My background is verified. French Diplomatic Corps, education in Paris, family in Lyon. Verified by whom? Harrison's voice has changed, hardened into something respectful and fearful simultaneously. By the same intelligence agencies the algorithm was designed to expose? I enter the kill code with mechanical precision, watching the system process it. A progress bar appears on the central monitor. Blacklight termination sequence initiated. Estimated completion, 4 minutes. 4 minutes to dismantle whatever financial chaos Corda has unleashed. 4 minutes to think. There must be an explanation, I insist, more to myself than to them. Someone hacked the biometric system. No one hacks embassy-grade security, Harrison counters, especially not to insert false biometrics. The system recognized you as Vinogradov because, at some level, you are. Memories cascade through my consciousness, fragmentary, contradictory. A childhood in France, but also something else. Flashes of snow, a different language on my tongue. Training sessions I can't quite place in my timeline. The algorithm was designed to detect inconsistencies across global intelligence databases, Sarah says, watching me closely. It found patterns suggesting a single operator behind multiple deep cover identities. If that's you, I would know. I cut her off. I would remember. Would you? A new voice enters the conversation. Smooth, cultured, emerging from the room's overhead speakers. Corda's voice. Memory is such a fragile construct, especially when it's been professionally curated. The monitors around us flicker, security protocols momentarily disrupted. A video feed appears on the central screen. Alexander Korda, very much alive, sitting in what appears to be a private aircraft. I see you finally met your true self, Livia. Or should I call you Natasha? Or perhaps Emma Reeves? Or any of the other 7 identities you've operated under? My head pounds with sudden pressure. Names that shouldn't mean anything trigger faint responses, neural pathways long dormant flaring to life. What have you done to me? My voice remains steady despite the earthquake happening inside my skull. I've done nothing but reveal what was already there. Korda's smile is thin, triumphant. The directors of Project Blacklight didn't destroy the algorithm because it found a Russian spy network. They buried it because it found you, their own creation, the perfect infiltrator with compartmentalized identities who doesn't even know she's an asset. 3 minutes on the termination sequence. Harrison steps forward. That's enough, Korda. Whatever game you're playing. This is no game, Senator. Or should I say, Deputy Director Harrison. 30 years at the CIA, the last 15 running the NOC program that created our friend here. Korda's eyes gleam with malicious satisfaction. Shall I tell her how it works? How you fracture a promising agent's psyche into discrete personalities, each with their own backgrounds and loyalties? How you use targeted pharmaceuticals and neural programming to ensure each identity remains walled off from the others? The room tilts beneath my feet. Harrison's face reveals the truth before he speaks. It wasn't like that, he insists, but his denial lacks conviction. The dissociative identity intelligence program was experimental. You were a volunteer, Livia, the best we'd ever seen. She doesn't remember volunteering because that identity was erased, Korda interjects. Just as each new cover required selective memory suppression. How many times have they wiped you clean, Livia? How many lives have you lived without remembering? 2 minutes. Why, I demand, steadying myself against the console. Why reveal this now? Because the algorithm didn't just identify you. It mapped the entire network. Every handler, every control officer, every government official who authorized the program, including those who later decided certain assets had become liabilities. Sarah moves suddenly, producing a small-caliber pistol from beneath her gown. That's enough. Shut down the transmission. Miss Winters, Korda acknowledges with a slight nod. Or rather, Dr. Caroline Fisher, the program's chief neuropsychologist, the architect of Livia's fractured consciousness. How convenient that Crimson Shell sent you to contain the situation. Sarah, or Caroline, keeps the weapon trained on me. The program was decommissioned for ethical reasons. Most subjects were successfully reintegrated. Most, Korda repeats. Except for the ones too valuable to lose, the ones given permanent cover identities with no knowledge of their origins. 1 minute remaining on the kill sequence. The algorithm is currently exposing every aspect of the program, Korda continues. Financial records, medical facilities, personnel. Unless what? Harrison demands. Unless Livia chooses to abort the kill sequence. Let the algorithm complete its original work, identifying everyone involved in creating, using, and attempting to eliminate the program subjects. 30 seconds. Don't listen to him, Sarah urges. He's manipulating you. Am I? Korda raises an eyebrow. Or am I the only one telling you the truth? I was like you once, Livia. A carefully constructed identity serving masters I never chose. The kill sequence counts down. 15 seconds. If you let it complete, you'll never know who you really are, Korda warns. All evidence will be erased. Again. 10 seconds. My finger hovers over the abort key. Everything in me screams that Korda can't be trusted. Yet the fear in Harrison's eyes, in Sarah's, Caroline's rigid posture tells another story. 5 seconds. The choice is yours, Corda says softly, as it always should have been. 3, 2. My hand moves decisively. The screen flashes. Blacklight termination sequence. Aborted. No! Sarah lunges forward, weapon raised. Harrison moves to intercept her, too slowly. The gun swings toward me. I can't let you do this, she says, finger tightening on the trigger. A shot rings out. Sarah crumples to the floor. Behind her stands the server I noticed earlier at the reception, now holding a silenced pistol, his waiter's uniform discarded to reveal tactical gear. Right on time, Corda says from the screen. Now, Livia, we can. The transmission cuts abruptly as the room plunges into darkness. Emergency lights activate, bathing everything in blood red. Embassy security protocols, Harrison explains grimly. Someone's triggered a lockdown. The tactical operator moves to the door, checking the corridor. We have 90 seconds before security teams sweep this sector. Who are you? I demand. Damien Cross. Corda sent me to extract you. He tosses me a small communication device. This building is about to become very hostile territory. A new notification flashes across my phone. The algorithm has released its first data package. On the screen, a classified CIA memo authorizing the termination of all remaining DIIP subjects. My codename heads the list. Harrison's expression confirms what I already suspect. You were sent to kill me tonight, I realize aloud. The reception was the perfect cover. Not just you, Harrison doesn't deny it. Every remaining subject. The program is being sanitized. We need to move, Cross insists, now. Through the doorway, I hear the approaching thunder of boots on marble. Security teams mobilizing. Every exit covered. Every face now an enemy. I meet Harrison's gaze one last time. Was any of it real? Any part of me? Something like regret crosses his features. All of it was real, Livia. That's what made you so effective. The algorithm continues its relentless exposure, releasing decades of secrets into the digital wild. Somewhere in that data is the truth about who I am. All of who I am. But first, I need to survive the next 5 minutes. Cross readies his weapon. I know a way out, but it won't be clean. The approaching footsteps grow louder. Armed men shouting commands in French, English, Russian, languages I understand with perfect fluency. Languages that feel like home in different corners of my fractured mind. I pick up Sarah's fallen weapon. Lead the way. My finger tightens on the trigger as the first security officer rounds the corner. And for the first time tonight, I have absolute clarity about what I must do.
The first bullet grazes my shoulder. Pain blossoms hot and sharp as I dive behind a server bank. Cross returns fire. 3 precise shots that drop the lead security officer. Harrison scrambles for cover as the emergency lights paint everything in hellish red. There's a maintenance tunnel, Cross shouts over the gunfire. Northwest corner. It connects to the parking garage. I check Sarah's weapon, a compact Glock, 7 rounds remaining. Not enough. Never enough when your entire existence has just been revealed as a fabrication. On my signal, Cross says, pulling a small device from his tactical vest. 3, 2. He tosses it into the corridor. A blinding flash, followed by disoriented shouts. We move simultaneously, stepping over fallen bodies. My muscle memory takes over. Combat training I don't consciously remember receiving. I fire twice, dropping a guard rounding the corner. This way, Cross directs, moving with practiced efficiency. Harrison follows behind us, unarmed but seemingly untroubled by the chaos. His calmness unsettles me more than the bullets. The algorithm is still running, he says, checking his phone as we reach the maintenance access panel. Every agency involved is being compromised. CIA, MI6, Mossad, FSB. They're all implicated in the program. Good. My voice sounds distant, unfamiliar in my own ears. They deserve exposure. Cross works on the access panel, fingers flying across the electronic lock. Corda says to tell you there's a safe house. Coordinates will come when we're clear. The maintenance tunnel stretches before us, narrow, dimly lit, reeking of mold and machine oil. As we enter, my phone vibrates with new notifications. The algorithm has released another data packet. Personnel files, medical records, training protocols. And there, under a classified header, Project Gemini, the creation of dissociative agent networks. My photograph. Except I look different, harder, hair shorter, eyes colder. The name beneath it, dead. Natasha Vinogradov, primary asset, 2006 present. It wasn't just you, Harrison says, noticing my expression. There were 23 subjects, the perfect deep cover operatives. Agents who truly believed their cover identities because they had no access to their original personalities. How many survived? My voice remains steady despite the tremors coursing beneath my skin. 7. Harrison's face is brim in the tunnel's sparse lighting. The others, integration wasn't always successful. Integration, such a clinical term for destroying personalities, for murder without a body. The tunnel ends at a service elevator. Cross activates it with a security override. As the doors close, gunfire erupts behind us. Embassy security has found our escape route. Why is Corda helping me? I demand, pressing the gun against Cross's ribs. What's his stake in this? He was subject 1, Cross answers calmly. The prototype. They fractured his identity 15 times before perfecting the technique on later subjects. He remembers all of it. The elevator descends with agonizing slowness. My phone continues receiving data dumps from the algorithm. Faces flash across the screen. Handlers, psychologists, government officials who authorize the program. Surveillance photos, operation reports, my missions, all of them. Under different names, different faces, subtly altered by cosmetics and behavioral programming. You were the most successful case, Harrison offers, as if this might somehow be comforting. Complete compartmentalization. Each identity capable of complex, long-term operations with no cross-contamination. That's why the algorithm flagged me, I realize. Inconsistencies in my background that no one noticed because they were deliberately created. The elevator shutters to a halt. Parking level 3. Cross checks the exit before motioning us forward. The personality you're experiencing now, Livia Moreau. Was your longest continuous deployment, Harrison continues, as we move between rows of diplomatic vehicles. 5 years is unprecedented. Most identities were maintained for 18 months maximum before reset. Reset? Another euphemism for personality erasure. Here, Cross stops at a nondescript gray sedan. This will get us clear of the immediate perimeter. As he unlocks the car, I realize Harrison has positioned himself too carefully. Angled away from Cross, eyes constantly tracking both of us. The subtle posture shift of a man about to make a move. You're not coming with us, I state flatly, raising the Glock. Harrison's expression doesn't change. I'm the only one who knows how to safely integrate your fragmented consciousness. Corda wants vengeance. I'm offering restoration. After you were sent to eliminate me tonight? Orders I clearly haven't followed. His eyes hold mine. I designed the program, Livia. I created you. All versions of you. I can help you become whole again. Cross opens the driver's side door. We need to move now. A decision point. Harrison represents my past. The organization that built and betrayed me. Cross offers a future with Corda, a man who claims to share my experience, but whose motives remain opaque. My phone buzzes again. A single message from Corda. Harrison created the kill switch too. Ask him about Minsk. What happened in Minsk? I demand, watching Harrison's face carefully. His composure slips, a micro-expression of shock quickly masked. That wasn't your operation. But it was one of mine, I press, though the name triggers no memory. One of my other identities. Emma Reeves, he admits reluctantly. A necessary sacrifice for national security. The name triggers a cascade. Fragmented images breaking through mental barriers. A snowy street. Blood on white marble. Children screaming. My hands, steady on a detonator. You triggered a personality collapse? I whisper, the realization burning through me. You made me kill civilians, then erased that identity to prevent psychological breakdown. It was a calculated risk. His voice remains maddeningly calm. The target was eliminated. Collateral damage was within acceptable parameters. I feel something fragment inside me. Mental walls crumbling as memories leak between compartments. Personalities I've never known yet have always been begin whispering in the recesses of my consciousness. Sirens approaching, Cross warns. 90 seconds to intercept. I make my decision. Get in the car, I order Harrison, gesturing with the gun. You're coming with us. He complies without protest, sliding into the back seat. Cross takes the wheel while I maintain aim on Harrison from the passenger seat. We exit the garage just as tactical teams arrive, slipping into evening traffic with practiced anonymity. Cross navigates through Paris with the confidence of someone who has studied every route, every traffic camera position. The safe house is 30 minutes out, he informs me, isolated, defensible. My phone continues receiving data dumps, more than I can process. Operational details of missions I conducted under identities I don't recognize. Assassination contracts, intelligence gathering, deep cover infiltrations. Years of my life that belong to strangers wearing my face. Tell me about the others, I demand from Harrison, the 6 other surviving subjects. They don't know what they are, he replies. Like you, they believe their cover identities are their true selves. But unlike you, Cross interjects, eyes on the road, they haven't been exposed to the algorithm's revelations. They're still operating as programmed. The implication is clear. 6 other fractured individuals carrying out missions for handlers who have now ordered their elimination. 6 people as lost as I am. Corda wants to activate them, I deduce. That's why he needed the algorithm running. He's trying to wake them up. Harrison's silence confirms my theory. What happens when they wake up? I ask, already suspecting the answer. Catastrophic personality collapse is likely, Harrison admits. Without proper integration protocols, the mental walls between identities will disintegrate chaotically. The psychological trauma could be severe, could be fatal, he means, Cross translates coldly. The sedan leaves the city behind, moving onto darker country roads. Trees crowd the pavement, branches creating intermittent shadows across our faces. You're feeling it already, Harrison observes, studying me. The beginning stages of integration, memory fragments, emotional bleed-through between identities. He's right. I feel myself becoming multiple people simultaneously. Livia's diplomatic poise battling with Natasha's ruthless calculation and Emma's tactical assessment. Personalities that were never meant to coexist, fighting for control. How long do I have? My voice sounds strange, the accent fluctuating between French and something harsher, more Eastern European. Without intervention? 24 hours before irreversible cognitive damage begins. Harrison leans forward. Let me help you, Livia. I can guide you through controlled integration. The same way you helped the 16 subjects who didn't survive? I counter. The road narrows as we enter dense woodland. Cross slows the vehicle, navigating a twisting path barely visible in the headlights. "We're approaching the safe house," he announces. 2 minutes out. My phone screen suddenly illuminates with an incoming video call. Corda's face appears. Gaunt, intense, his eyes reflecting the same fractured quality I feel spreading through my consciousness. "I see Harrison convinced you to bring him along," he observes with a thin smile. "Good. We'll need his expertise." "For what?" I demand. "For saving the others, of course." Corda's expression hardens. "And for making those responsible pay for what they've done." The car crests a small hill, revealing a solitary structure nestled among the trees, a modernist concrete bunker disguised as an architectural statement. Solar panels gleam in the moonlight. "Welcome to your awakening, Livia," Corda says. "Inside, you'll find everything we need to complete what the algorithm started." As Cross parks, I notice subtle movement around the perimeter, security personnel taking up positions. Corda's operation is larger than it appeared. "What exactly are we doing here?" I ask, though part of me, some fragment of Natasha perhaps, already knows. "We're going to save the other subjects," Corda explains. "Then we're going to dismantle the entire program, not just expose it, but ensure it can never be recreated." "That's not possible," Harrison interjects. "The knowledge exists. The techniques are documented. You can't erase that." "No," Corda agrees with a cold smile, "but we can erase those who would use it." I feel Natasha's personality surface, calculating, ruthless, seeing the strategic value in Corda's implied mass assassination. Simultaneously, Livia recoils at the moral implications. We enter the bunker, a surprisingly sophisticated facility. Central command room, medical bay, communications array. On a wall-sized display, 6 photographs track the remaining subjects, their current locations, identities, status, all blissfully unaware of what they truly are. "The algorithm has identified all program personnel," Corda explains, moving to a terminal. 473 individuals across 17 countries, each one complicit. "And you plan to eliminate them all?" I conclude, feeling a strange detachment as competing personalities assess the operation from different angles. "Justice requires sacrifice," Corda states simply. Harrison moves toward me, keeping his voice low. "This is exactly why the program was being sanitized. Corda isn't offering freedom. He's weaponizing you and the others for his vendetta." The fragmentation in my mind accelerates. Memories, skills, languages, and loyalties from multiple identities competing for dominance. I clutch the edge of a desk, knuckles whitening. "The integration is progressing faster than anticipated," Harrison observes. "We need to stabilize her now." Corda approaches with a syringe. "This will help manage the symptoms temporarily." "So I can help you hunt down everyone involved?" I question, my accent now distinctly Russian. "So you can choose," Corda corrects, "with a clear mind, something none of us were ever allowed." I look at the wall display again, at the faces of the 6 other fractured individuals, at the list of targets Corda has compiled, at Harrison, whose expression reveals genuine concern despite his complicity. The syringe hovers before me, a choice that isn't really a choice. Temporary stability to make a decision that will determine not just my future, but the fate of hundreds. In this moment of clarity, I understand the truth that both Corda and Harrison have missed. There is no restoring what was broken, no returning to a unified self that may never have existed. The compartmentalization was too perfect, the personalities too distinct. I am not Livia or Natasha or Emma or any single identity. I am all of them simultaneously. I reach for the syringe, but not to accept it. In one fluid motion, I drive it into Corda's neck, depressing the plunger before he can react. "What have you done?" he gasps, staggering back. "Chosen a third option. My voice is my own now, a blend of all my selves." I turn to Harrison. "You created monsters, then tried to erase them. Corda wanted to use us as weapons of vengeance. You're both wrong." On the terminal, I enter a series of commands, redirecting the algorithm. Not to expose, not to destroy, but to protect. The 6 others deserve the truth, I explain, watching as the system reconfigures. But on their terms, with support structures in place, not as a weapon for Corda's revenge, not as a liability to be eliminated by you. Cross moves uncertainly, hand drifting toward his weapon. I meet his eyes calmly. You have a choice too. Around us, the bunker comes alive with new purpose. The algorithm, now reprogrammed, begins establishing secure connections to carefully selected individuals, ethical oversight committees, independent psychological specialists, advocacy groups for intelligence community victims. "What are you doing?" Harrison demands. "Creating accountability without annihilation." I continue typing, personalities working in concert now. Livia's diplomatic finesse, Natasha's strategic insight, Emma's technical expertise, all unified in purpose, if not in identity. The program will be exposed, but in a way that protects the other subjects while ensuring justice. Corda slumps into a chair, the sedative taking effect. "They'll never let you live," he murmurs. "None of us." Perhaps not, I acknowledge. But this isn't about survival anymore. On the screens, the algorithm completes its final task, creating an immutable record across distributed networks. Too widespread to suppress, too documented to deny, but controlled enough to prevent the chaos Corda desired. I feel the fragmentation continuing inside me, personalities bleeding together, memories merging and contradicting. Integration without control, exactly as Harrison warned. My time is limited. I was never just one person, I tell them, voice steady despite the growing cognitive storm. None of us were. What you broke can't be fixed, but it can be accepted. Outside, sirens approach. The algorithm's controlled release has prompted official response. Not the scorched earth exposure Corda planned, but the beginning of accountability. "They're coming for us all," Cross observes. Yes, I agree, and I'll be the first to testify. Harrison studies me with new respect, or perhaps simply new calculation. You won't survive the complete integration without help. Maybe not as any single identity, I acknowledge, but something new might emerge. Something that honors all the lives I've lived, chosen or not. I move toward the bunker's entrance, prepared to meet whatever comes. The fractured pieces of my consciousness continue their chaotic merging. Painful, disorienting, but somehow right. I am Livia Moreau, diplomatic attaché with a talent for crisis management. I am Natasha Vinogradov, strategic operative with uncompromising focus. I am Emma Reeves, field agent with blood on her hands. I am the others, too. Names and lives I'm only beginning to remember. But most importantly, I am becoming someone new. Someone who will ensure that what was done to us is never forgotten, never repeated. As the first lights of approaching vehicles appear through the trees, I stand at the threshold. Not as a weapon, not as a victim, but as a witness. The program created me to be many people with one purpose. Now I am many people united by a different purpose altogether: justice.